up with a dump truck that resulted in downed wires and a fire. The truck delivering mulch to Gregory's sawmill Wednesday morning. According to Wilton Fire Chief Ron Canterman, Gregory's was taking a delivery of mulch and put the truck on an incline so the mulch would fall more easily out the back. The truck, however, hit the high-tension wires overhead, and that contact set the truck on fire. The driver was able to escape without injury, Canterman said, although he was taken to Norwalk Hospital. Route 7 remains closed this afternoon, and schools were preparing for bus routes to be affected, sending a message out to parents. There will be updates on that story at wiltonbulletin.com. A Milford man, identified by Shelton police as a youth hockey coach, was charged Monday with stalking an 18-year-old waitress. 57-year-old Kim Laricia was served with a warrant charging him with third-degree stalking, second-degree breach of peace, and interfering with an officer. His bond was set at $15,000 for court May 18th in Derby. On March 21st, according to a complaint, Laricia entered a restaurant on River Road in Shelton and, according to police, obsessively watched an 18-year-old waitress for 4 hours. At one point, Laricia passed her a note asking if she wanted to go for a ride, then followed her on River Road after she completed her shift. Laricia fled the scene after the email, alarmed because he continued to follow her, called and met her boyfriend at a local parking lot. Laricia returned to the River Road restaurant the following day and again continually watched the female. Eventually, Laricia left the restaurant. However, the victim was able to obtain Laricia's license plate and forwarded it to police. The Shelton Police Department Detective Division, in the course of the investigation, discovered that Laricia is a youth hockey coach. Easton taxpayers voted soundly in favor of the $42.9 million town and Region 9 budgets at Tuesday's referendum, with 66% of voters giving both budgets a thumbs up. The budget included $15.6 million for the Easton Board of Education and $10.8 million for Easton's share of the Region 9 Board of Education. It represents an increase of 1.61% over the current budget. Easton and Reading share the cost of the regional high school, and both approved the Region 9 budget, which required a combined majority of the two towns to pass. The Weston Board of Finance has cut the proposed school budget, which failed at its first referendum vote, by $100,000. The meeting room at Town Hall was packed Tuesday night, and discussion grew heated as a number of supporters of the education budget pleaded with the board not to cut it and send it back to referendum as it was initially proposed. With a low voter turnout at the first referendum, the school budget failed by 5 votes, 132 to 127. The 2015-16 proposed town and capital budgets both passed. The proposed school operating budget going to the next referendum is about $48.5 million. The new referendum vote will be May 16th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the meeting room at Town Hall. Absentee ballots will be available starting Monday, May 11th. Shelton police were contacted about another bear sighting around 7 in the evening on Tuesday on Daybreak Lane, the same road where a bear reportedly was seen Monday evening. According to police, Shelton officers were able to observe the bear in the rear of a property on May 5th. Then the bear went back into the woods and police officers lost sight of it. State environmental officers also responded, aided by Shelton police officers who had arrived first, but they were unable to locate the bear again. Daybreak Lane is a dead-end road between Old Stratford Road, Armstrong Road, and the Route 8 highway. It is accessed from Old Stratford Road. On Monday night at about the same time, the bear reportedly had been observed pushing around trash cans on Daybreak Lane. The Tuesday night sighting on Daybreak Lane would seem to make it less likely. The bear had been seen on Adams Drive in Shelton's Huntington section on Tuesday morning, as had been reported to police, according to the Shelton Herald. Former Bridgeport Mayor Joe Ganim, who spent 7 years in prison for corruption, told the Chaz and AJ show on 99 Rock WPLR this morning, said he will again seek Bridgeport's highest office. Ganim would be seeking to unseat fellow Democrat Bill Finch. The incumbent, Finch, also faces an in-party challenge from Bridgeport Bluefish founder Mary Jane Foster. Ganim served as mayor of Bridgeport from 1991 until 2003, when he was convicted of 16 counts of corruption for steering city contracts in exchange for money. Ganem is apologizing to voters about what he calls serious errors of judgment during his time in office. He also lost his law license. Ganem says he will launch his campaign officially on May 14th. It is currently 70 degrees and cloudy in Shelton. HAN news time is 2:08. Back to you, Rob.
Kate, thank you very much. Resume 6 de Mayo. Will there be a Siete de Mayo by any chance?
Sure, why not?
Every day can be something.
Every
right?
day.
Every day. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for coffee break. And we'll see you in a little bit.
Later in the hour.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Kate. All right, Kate Chaplinsky with us with our Hersom Acorn News Update. And good afternoon, one and all. And Bill, good afternoon to you.
Hey, Rob, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for hanging out with me today.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it's always fun. We got
yeah.
some softball coaches coming up, and it's rivalry week in Trumbull and kind of around the block.
Yeah, we've got that game on Friday. We have Trumbull and St. Joe's on Friday over at Trumbull High School.
Trumbull High School.
So, and look, the reality of Trumbull, unfortunately, is that first and foremost, Wi-Fi and cell service can always be so dicey. I mean, to do something at St. Joe's where they play softball, I'm told is next to almost impossible.
Yeah, no, you're rolling a lot of dice in
Yeah.
Trumbull with all the hills. Cablevision couldn't get in there. I mean,
Yeah.
you got Channel 12 can't even get in there. So.
Yeah, we were able to do football from the field when they played. They played McMahon.
Yep. Yeah. Mike King, the athletic director, I was talking to him just yesterday, about the Wi-Fi and stuff, and he just said it's a crapshoot anywhere else because the fields are so far away.
Yeah.
But the football field is wired up tight.
Yeah.
So.
Both football fields, St. Joe's and Trumbull, both are wired pretty well. We were able to survive, I believe, on MiFi at St. Joe's, and Trumbull High, they've actually installed some at the field, so that's great. Mike King's done a great job there, by the way.
Yeah, he really did. He had real big shoes to fill with Mike Herbst. I mean, just an unbelievable guy. I've been privileged enough to be working with the Trumbull Athletic Department through Jerry McDougall and then Mike Herbst and now Mike King. You couldn't ask for three better guys.
Yeah, and Mike King coming from West Hill, where he was also a basketball coach there. He was the girls' basketball coach for a while and was the AD there, and he's become a prime player in the FCAC as well.
Yes, he has, and they're glad they're lucky to have him.
They are lucky to have him, and a guy like Mike King, he's a younger guy, so he brings a different kind of life into the upper echelon of the FCAC, at least in my opinion. Dave Schultz has been around far longer. John Cookso obviously has been there forever. So to have a guy like Mike King sitting really on that almost like three-man executive committee, if you will, the three guys who were here with us last week, I think that's a real shot in the arm for the FCAC.
Well, it really helps, like you said, with his youth. He has, not that anyone's out of touch.
No.
But he's with the new generation of coaches. He's been with those guys. They've been shoulder to shoulder doing things. So now, as an athletic director at Trumbull and working with the FCAC board, he can speak more for what they're about.
We'll be speaking, by the way, with Carrie Nadell, the Trumbull softball coach. We recorded an interview with Coach Nadell a short while ago. A little touch of the audio got lost, but we'll bring you in partway through. Bill, that's why Bill will conduct most of the interview. So he was my saving grace in that interview. And Jeff Babineau will be along in a couple of minutes. That is the St. Joe's softball coach as we get ready for that game on Friday. And it should be a good one from what people are telling me.
St. Joe's 12-0, Trumbull 11-1. They both have games today, this afternoon. Obviously, Trumbull has a bigger hurdle with 10-2 Darien.
Right.
While Wilton will be playing St. Joseph's today, and I believe they're like 3-8 or something like that. But it's a nice town game, and when you're both going for the top of the FCAC to begin with, it's kind of a double. It's a double treat.
After we get through the softball talk, we'll eventually turn our attention back to the football situation. They did have the coaches meeting last night in the FCAC. Obviously, much being made of that. 15 of the 17 coaches were on site. I believe the other 2 were on the phone, so everybody was basically represented. So we'll talk a little more about that when we get to that a little later in the hour as well. And we've got plenty of sports over the next 3 days. Game number 1 being tomorrow. Staples and Ridgefield will meet in La Crosse, Upper Tiger Hollow. So we'll have that game for you tomorrow. We already mentioned the softball game on Friday at Trumbull between Trumbull High and St. Joe's. And then on Saturday, we'll have girls lacrosse. Longmeadow, Massachusetts makes the drive down here and takes on the New Canaan Rams at Dunning at noon on Saturday. So busy couple of days coming up for us around these parts on HAN Radio, but that's why we get the big bucks.
I love the out-of-state games. I just think it's so cool.
I like those as well, and it's,
I like out-of-state games when they come to us, even better.
And yeah, I totally I like that even. But you know what? I love the road trips.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are some of us who are still kind of glowing over Cooperstown and how great that was. And I wish more could have experienced it. You know, I've mentioned that to a lot of our broadcast people because to have you all up there would have been such a thrill to have such a great and. Look, I don't want to make it sound like we sat around the campfire singing Kumbaya, but there was something bonding about it all. You know, we fight so hard every day here in what we do, and to have a chance to just sit at the local Applebee's and toss back a cold drink, you know, a fancy little glass of water with Josh or with John or with Liz Skalka or the whole gang.
Yep.
It was nice to be able to do that and to share some laughs and be with the sickest man I've ever met in my life, who is a medical marvel and miracle, Marty Herson. Well, he's a true medical marvel at this point.
Well, it is just amazing because you guys went the night before you did Harbor Yard, right?
Yeah,
we
that's
did the Harbor Yard game.
And I am going to milk that medical story with Marty for every last drop.
Oh, I've seen him look at you every single time. Every time we're hooking up wires and you make a mention, he just gives you the look.
Yeah, he did. No, we've still had a good laugh over that. But, you know, I was even going through some old notes last weekend, and I stumbled across an itinerary that I typed up for the trip that I did to Naples, Florida in 2007 when Greenwich High flew to Naples and took on the Naples High School Eagles back in November 07. And what a trip that. So to be able to experience those things is just so cool.
Well, that
was the extreme.
That's a road trip you could have got me on.
Oh, that was so great. It really was. It was so much fun. In any event, we'll pause for a break here at 2:15. Then we'll come back. Coach Babineau will join us in a moment. Coach Nadell in a little while. So we've got a lot to do as we move along on this now Wednesday edition of Nutmeg Sports. Bill and I return with Coach Babineau right after this on HANradio.com and streaming live along the HAN network.
Breaks, sprains, injuries, and pain can now be quickly and expertly treated at Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Why wait hours in the ER? Save a trip and save money going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast!
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332 and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Yeah, hey, this is John Ratzberger. You're listening to HANradio.com.
And you're listening to Nutmeg Sports, and you're watching it here on the HAN network at 2:18. Rob Adams and Bill Bloxham. And on the phone with us now, the head softball coach over at St. Joe's, Jeff Babineau. Coach, Rob, and Bill, how are you?
Hey, guys, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, anytime. Happy to do it. And congratulations on a good year so far. How's it going?
Well, so far we're playing well. Kids have gotten off to a good start, and the big key right now is staying healthy and, play each game one at a time.
Now, who's on the schedule for you today?
We have Wilton. We're entertaining Wilton High School today. They're coming here for a 4:30 start.
How does a team, knowing that they've got a big game on Friday against Trumbull High, how does your team not look past the Wilton Warriors today? And that's with no disrespect to Wilton, but knowing that, you've got a town game on Friday and they're having a good season, you're having a good season. How do they not overlook today and focus on the Warriors?
I think it's just our preparation. We sort of set the kids' minds. Actually, as of last week, we had 4 games in a week, which played on them pretty heavily, and it showed on Monday. They came out pretty flat on Monday. And, we had a good practice yesterday just preparing for today. And I think, their mindset is to get through one game at a time and, take the opponent very seriously and then move on.
Hey, Jeff, Bill Bloxham here.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Good. I'm just looking up at our video here, and I see this little picture of Nicole Williams winding up in last year's game against Trumbull at your place. This is her 3rd season doing this. Give me a little rundown on, how she's gotten so good and how she's improved over these 3 years, even though it's hard to see the difference in the record-wise. There's no difference, but what pitches are different? What is she doing different?
Well, I think what she did, Bill, she took, again, as a freshman, when you come in, they're very young. They're 14 years old. They're playing against some kids that are 17, 18 years old. And I think, she had the talent. She had the physical ability. Now what it is, over the last year, she's worked on more of really learning how to pitch, not just throw the ball. And her, her spin and her velocity has increased tremendously from last, say, June to this point right now. And she's put a lot of effort in. She really knew, she wants to be on that big stage. She wants the ball in the circle, and it's starting to show. It's starting to show in her mentality and also, her approach to the game.
Now, you have 4 senior captains, I believe, or 4 captains?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have 4 captains, correct.
What do they bring to the field, with the success that you've had? It's an expectation, but it's something I think they accept now. It's not like, oh boy, I'm going to St. Joe's. How am I going to deal with this? That they win. They're part of that winning tradition. But how do they help out with the younger kids? And what's their deal during practices and things like that, helping the younger guys, girls?
Yeah, what we do with the captains, each one, they basically have a designated job each day for practice, and that is one of them. One's a field captain, one takes care of the hitting stations, one takes care of the running and agility areas, and it works. And they have they've all been in the program for 4 years. They have great leadership skills, and it's turning into the. We actually start one freshman, and she has caught on very, very well, and also into the way we do things and the way we operate. But you're right; it's hard. It is a winning tradition. Like I said, we don't practice losing. We prepare to win, and that's sort of something that it takes a big kid to do that every day. So yes. It is hard. It is difficult.
That's for
very
sure.
difficult, especially young ladies, and we have proms coming up, and graduations and everything else. This time of year is tough for us.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about, I'm sure.
Oh, it is. Well, next Thursday is our prom. So believe me, it's a lot of issues already going on.
We're talking with Jeff Babineau, the head softball coach at St. Joe's here on Nutmeg Sports 222. The Cadets 12-0 overall, 10-0 in the conference, while they will meet the Trumbull Eagles here on Friday, 11-1 overall, 9-1 in the FCIAC. And, Coach, for those who don't get to watch softball or listen to it as much, and I know it doesn't get the attention that it richly deserves, when we hit the air Friday, what does the novice viewer have to look for and listen for?
Well, I think what they're going to look for is just the execution of the game. You're going to want to make sure, you're going to have good pitching on both sides. And basically, what we say is we have 21 outs. We do not give any away. And I think if you watch a good game, you'll see every ball that's hit. There's there's a purpose to it, and there's a way to take it out and get the inning over with. And that's the thing. It's a quick game. It's a very fast game. I think the kids, as long as they're mentally prepared to play it, they're going to be fine.
With all your seniors, and the goal has to be very, very high. How do you keep them ready every game as opposed to looking too far forward?
Well, it's a whole thing. We work on a lot of things every day, both mentally and physically. We do sit with them quite often, explain to them about, pitch by pitch, what you have to do as an athlete. Again, not to overlook any competitor, because on any given day, someone can walk in here and take a game from you when you're not ready. And I think we spend a tremendous amount of time about that, putting the kids in mental preparation.
The change a few years ago when they moved the pitching circle, and it seems like in a lot of games I cover, there's just a lot more hitting, and it might be more interesting in that vein, but it hasn't seemed to have affected you guys too much. There's still a lot of zeros going up on the other side. Is that something that Nicole had to work on as well?
Yeah, absolutely. The 3-foot adjustment, actually, for a lot of kids, it doesn't seem like a lot, but the ball, it gives you that little split second more to see the ball, see the spin, and also cut the velocity down. But I would say the pitchers, there are still pitchers that can throw in the 60s at that 43 feet in high school, and she's actually one of them that can attain that level. But the other ones, if you get into the mid 50s, high 50s, it becomes very hittable.
And it helps to have a pitcher that can hit.
Oh yeah, she's a phenomenal hitter. She really is. And we have a bunch of kids there.
No, I was just going to say, Coach, when you see a pitch coming in that fast, at that close of a distance, I mean, it just makes it even seem that much faster.
Oh, absolutely, and and a lot of these kids with the movement they have and the screwball, coming in on the hands, you have to be a great athlete. I mean, these girls work at it all year round, and they have to, first of all, you got to have the ability, but you have to work at it. It's just not a God-given thing that you can just go and hit. So, give them a lot of credit. These kids put a lot of time and effort in through the year, so it's a good thing for me.
You spent most of your adult life working with softball players and the whole thing. Were you on top of this switch? Were you for it when they moved the 3 feet for the pitchers?
Yeah, it would. When it was at 40, I mean, the game got pretty boring after a while. One hit and that would be it, and teams wouldn't even be able to touch the ball. I think this makes the field a little bit more playable, and I love it because you get to play defense, and that's one of the good things I love. That we preach defense up here. We do hit quite well, but our main focus every day is on the defensive side. So it is exciting. I love watching them play.
And big games coming up, so nothing better than a big game.
What's that?
Nothing better than you get a big game coming up with Trumbull, and there's nothing better for a coach than to know when you're going in there that things have evened up a little bit, and you get to play too.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be fun.
Coach, how about the excitement of the next couple of days? But I can't help but ask about with all the buzz going on about the football with the FCAC championship. What does an FCAC championship mean? Not that I'm trying to put the cart before the horse for anyone, but for you as a coach with your players, how much does a conference championship mean to players?
Rod, it's a hard thing to state. I don't want to say that we don't look at it. We're more, most of the St. Joe stuff, everybody's geared to go to the state championships. That's pretty much what the school's been, molded around. But it is nice to put one on the wall. We hadn't done one in 7 years, and we put one up last year. But we use it as a stepping stone, saying this is our first goal. Our first goal is the first 10 games, and the second 10, and we go to the FCX. So it's part of our ritual, and it's part of our goals. So we like it. I mean, I'll definitely, if we're in it, we'll play for it. There's no doubt.
That's fair.
There you go.
That's fair. You'll play for it.
Yeah.
And we're excited to get out there and see everyone on Friday. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and the weather looks great. So we're looking forward to being out there and being in the media. Sounds good.
Do the girls like the attention?
Yeah, they do.
Good.
I think like you said, in any sport, up here it's the football team, it's the basketball team, baseball team, and I think when they get their headlines and they know they're in the paper, it's enjoyable for them. I think they really appreciate it. I appreciate it. I think it's great for the women's game.
Well, they'll have a video to look at after Friday.
That's right.
Yeah, Oh yeah, absolutely. No, we're definitely we'll be ready for it.
All right, Coach. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much,
Okay.
and we'll see you
All right.
on Friday.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Looking forward to it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks again. Take
Okay.
care.
Bye-bye.
All right, Jeff Babineau, the head softball coach over at St. Joe's, and we'll speak with Kerry Nadell as well, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, this is always good when you have teams that can play at a state level, and then getting to that football side where the town rival's bigger than this and that. Here they get to do both.
Yeah, exactly.
They're both looking for high seeding in the FCAC tournament, and with 4 or 5 other teams that are in contention for the FCAC softball title, and then they know they have the states and bragging rights.
And I kind of knew the answer, but I like being able to ask, how do the girls feel about the attention of us coming out? Do they enjoy that kind of thing? And they do, because girls athletics do not get the attention that the boys get. Obviously, there's so much attention put to football, which is a male, not even male-dominated sport. It is a male sport. And then it goes to, you'll cover boys basketball and boys hockey, and so it's nice to be able to do that and see, and you can tell the girls do get excited. They like and they appreciate that you care.
Yeah, no, it's just amazing, and I don't want to date myself, but when I went,
go ahead.
Oh, well, for a while I had to date myself, but then I met. Fortunately, I met my wife when I was 15. But to date myself on the first fact is, when I went to high school, we had a girls swim team.
Yeah.
And we had a girls swim team.
Right.
That was the only sport offered at Milford High School for girls.
Yeah.
When I graduated. So it's just amazing to watch these athletes out there performing at such a high level. And it's just real fun to cover.
Yeah, in fact, we will have a guest on next week in all likelihood about a Title IX story that she did for the Darien Times. So we're going to have that next week, and that'll be a pretty good bit. But one other thing I wanted to get to before we take a break, because I don't want to neglect to mention this, there's going to be a 72-hour continuous hockey game being played at the Winter Garden in Ridgefield, and that will begin on May 7th, where 200 men and women ages 16 to 75 will play, as I said, in a 72-hour continuous hockey game at the Winter Garden. That's 111 Prospect Ridge in Ridgefield. Play for Purpose is hosting the event and will raise awareness and funds to help local families in need of financial assistance due to illnesses. Proceeds will also benefit numerous local and national charities such as Molly Ann Tango Memorial Foundation, Connecticut Children's Medical Center, Maria Ferreri Children's Hospital, and the Fisher House of Connecticut. The players love the game but are playing for something beyond love of the sport. Last May, the group raised over $40,000, and this year their goal is $100,000. The event is open to the public. Admission is free. Opening ceremonies are Thursday evening, May 7th at 7 p.m., followed by a silent auction and cocktail reception before the first puck drops at 9 p.m. Play continues through Sunday, May 10th at 7 p.m. A New York Rangers 2015 team jersey, and boy, they've got some work to do tonight, signed off by the entire team, as well as a stick signed by team captain Ryan McDonough, will be auctioned off. The Rangers are in the running, of course, for the Stanley Cup Finals this year. That's what it says right here in the the PR release. In addition to the marathon game, there will be special guest appearances on Saturday, May 9th by some Rangers alumni with an open skate, autographs, and meet and greet from 1 to 2:30. Players attending will include Andre Dorr, the great Dave Maloney, who was once my broadcast partner. I'm always very proud to say that. Gilles Villemire, Mark Janssens, and Tom Laidlaw, also a Greenwich guy. The Rangers sled dog hockey game against the NJ Freeze, which is professional hockey for disabled players, will be held at 12 noon on Saturday. Pet partners, companions, service dogs will also be on hand at 11:30. Stop by and support it, folks. For more info, email admin, ADMIN, at playforpurpose.org. I apologize, I'm stumbling on that. Visit Facebook at Facebook.com/playforpurpose. To make a donation, visit playforpurpose.org and click on donate. So it's a good event.
That's good stuff. I mean,
yeah,
you just love to see when the community, rallies behind stuff, and a lot of times it is high school kids that get it going, and that's just good stuff.
Yeah, John Kovach, Tom Prizeman, and I spent a few hours at that last May, so we were able to watch some of the action as it went on, and you watched as one team would go off, another team would, and they just kept them going. 72 hours worth of hockey. So kind of fun.
Yeah, well, it's not John Boyd dancing around during the Depression, trying to. Never mind.
No, exactly.
I'm just trying to think of some kind of marathon.
You're good.
Marathon dancing.
All right, we're going to stop for a break here, and we're going to come back with an interview with Carrie Nadell, the head softball coach over at Trumbull High, as we continue here on a Wednesday edition of Nutmeg Sports. It's Bill and myself as we continue. And your calls, 203-442-9055. We return right after this on HANradio.com, streaming live along the Hersom Acorn Network.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season, and we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Hersom Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
Does advertising on HANradio.com work? Just ask Coastal Orthopedics. They ran spots with us, and within 24 hours they had 21 walk-ins and 8 calls to their new immediate care center. To advertise on HANradio.com, call 203-417-5199 and ask for Marianne Hersom.
You're listening to Hersom Acorn Radio.
Back with you on Nutmeg Sports. It's 2:37. Rob Adams, Bill Bloxham with you at 203-442-9055. Before the show, before we went live here, we had a chance to speak with the head softball coach over at Trumbull, Bill, Carrie Nadell, who gave us some time. Very nice of him to do so. And, it's all part of what's going to make this such a good game on Friday. These are two good teams.
Very good teams, well coached. And like as we were speaking off the air, it's like a triple header. They get to do a nice town rivalry game. They're looking for seedings for the FCX, and they both have eyes on the big prize when it comes to the state tournament. So it doesn't get any better than that. And plus, you're supposed to have 70-degree weather.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Today not as nice, but Friday should be nice. So we're going to join that interview in progress. We had an initial little hiccup with it, so Bill kind of drives the interview more than I do, but let's hear it now, what we've got. We've got about 6 minutes, though. Carrie Nadell speaking with Bill Bloxham and myself here on Nutmeg Sports.
Focusing on Staples. Yes, the girls all know that we had Darien and Joe's coming up this week, and actually Ridgefield on Monday, who's only got 2 FCX losses, 4 overall.
There you go. Huh?
So, yeah, and I live in Ridgefield, so
little extra there.
So it'll be a fun game on Monday for the girls on both sides of the other line. So, for example, in practice yesterday, we spoke to them about what our game strategies are going to be for Darien.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow at practice, we'll talk about the St. Joe strategies.
What changes a little bit? Small ball looking things that way it's against certain pitchers, or?
What we need to do now, because Darien is as strong as Erica Archerow.
Okay.
Erica's in the circle, and obviously Erica's very, very strong at the plate when she's got a bat in her hands. We spoke about what their plate strategy, plate composure needs to be when they're up at bat.
Okay.
All pitchers want to start off with an 0-1 count, so we want them swinging aggressively from the first pitch if it's in the strike zone.
Look for something that's in the strike zone that you like and go for it.
Right. Don't sit back, take a called strike, look at me in the coach's box, nod your head that it was a good strike, and tell everybody that we all know it's a good strike. we see that, we see that all the time in high school, travel, college.
Oh, yeah.
I see it watching some college games as well.
Oh, yeah. They nod like, okay,
Yeah.
I could have handled that if I wanted
strike.
to. That was a good one by you, pitcher.
Yeah.
Thank you. And now here comes here comes the change up, and now I got no shot.
Right. Will we do some possibly more small ball today against Darien? Take advantage of their defensive strengths or defensive weaknesses? Possibly. Again, it's going to be situational.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
I do not have any real information from their Monday game against Stanford, but I did hear or read somewhere that they made some errors. So I'm going to assume, knowing Darien, hopefully they're going to come in tight, and we could take advantage of their nervousness.
That always helps when you got a team coming off a loss, and you guys have, 7 straight wins now?
Yeah, we're on a 7-game streak. I'd love to have it 8 going into St. Joe's and 9 going into Ridgefield, but I worry about St. Joe's at 6 o'clock tonight when our game is over.
Is there any particular pressure about, playing a crosstown rival? Is there anything different, or is it still just play ball?
For me, it's play ball since I'm not a Trumbull resident. We've got split sisters. One with me in Trumbull and one with Jeff over at St. Joe's. Don't know if they'll both be playing in the varsity game on Friday, but they're both on the varsity rosters.
Oh, who would that be?
And as you know, a lot of girls, a lot of Trumbull girls who played with the kids on the Trumbull high school team are St. Joe's ball players.
Right. So some of those girls. I started to ask who the sisters are that are split between the two teams.
Yeah, it's Brianna Giacobi. She's one of our sophomore catchers, and her sister Kayla, who's a freshman at St. Joe's.
Oh, wow. Their parents have to sit on other sides of the different sides of the outfield fence, I would imagine.
She's dead straight away center fielder behind the backstop. I'm not sure.
One question here.
Hey, look, I've got the same deal on Monday. I've got something similar Monday. I'm coaching against my daughter at Ridgefield.
Oh, really? Where does she play? What position?
Yeah. Jacqueline, they've been having her start lately in left field as a freshman.
Oh, wow. You going to pitch around her?
Yeah, so she asked me, Daddy, what happens when I get up? I said, well, geez, dear, if it's a close game, you're not going to see the ball. if we're lighting up the scoreboard, I may have Allie or Taylor groove it for you, okay?
Then it'll be on her. She can't blame you.
That's right, yeah. So that should be fun just for me in that regard as well.
Coming into the year, coaches always have a concern of one thing. Is there a weakness or something that you were concerned about coming into the season that you're happy the way it turned out, that your kids have turned it around for you?
What I wanted this year for the program was stronger chemistry.
Okay.
Between the players and the coaches and through the entire organization. To me, it's just not the varsity and then you've got JV and possibly a freshman team. It's an organization. You look at a pro team, you've got AA, AAA ball, and then the majors. I view the freshman and JV teams as double and AAA. They're part of the program. We do have joint practices on Sundays, every other Sunday. So they all get to know each other, and if a freshman happens to be called up to either the JV or the varsity, she's not in awe or in fear of the juniors and the seniors.
Now, who are your team captains this year?
That was the biggest thing for me was chemistry.
And I would imagine your team captains would have something to do with that. And who are they this season? Your team captains?
Absolutely. We've got a very strong core of senior captains who take those responsibilities to heart. And, I think 2 weeks ago they had a program-wide pasta party versus just the varsity.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, there's always that separation. You don't want a class separation between either seniors or freshmen on the varsity team, and or as you mentioned, the units as they come up. If they feel intimidated, that's not a good thing. You want them to be all fighting for the same cause.
Right. Earlier in the season, I wanted to have a team outing at that indoor go-kart track in Brookfield.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sure.
For the whole program, but the girls felt they'd be at an unfair disadvantage since I actually drive a race car and didn't want to lose to their coach.
They had to put you on pit row.
Good call. Hey, Coach.
Yeah. I told them I'll start 5 laps down if I have to.
There you go. Take the high road. I like it.
Bump and run.
We'll definitely see you Friday. We're looking forward to the game.
Yes, so are we. The girls are looking forward to this. They're looking forward to, again, one game at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see you then, and thank you for a few minutes. Drive safe.
Hey, thank you for your time, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, bye.
Bye.
And that was indeed our interview with Carrie Nadell, who that took place about an hour ago. We've got one more break to take. Before we get to that, I've got a note here from Susan Schultz down in Darien, the editor of the Times, who said they've got the Board of Selectmen Planning and Zoning Commission finally agreeing. The representative town meeting voted to approve the $4 million gift of fields from last spring. With the gift, the DAF intends to convert 3 grass fields on the Darien High School campus into fields with artificial turf so that they can be used more often. The work taking place over 3 years will also include making improvements to a grass field. The Board of Ed on April 30th requested they come before the board to update on the exact schedule, timing over the summer, contractors, proof of insurance. Also, they previously had discussed an endowment of money tied to the gift that would maintain and replace in the future, but the Board of Ed is saying now that they want them to confirm the endowment tonight. If there is no initial endowment, they will have to reconsider the gift as it could end up costing the town money. The DAF told Susan yesterday they are working hard to address the Board of Ed's questions and concerns for the meeting tonight. They will cover that. They will be at the meeting. I know Aaron Marsh will be at the meeting. They will update it on the Darien Times via Twitter and, of course, on the website as soon as they can. How do you feel about these Gurf fields, if you will, the fake turf? Are you a fan of them?
It was funny. Early on, no, because you just like the whole thought of it. Once again, change, isn't what you want. And I'm not a money guy.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, in the Trumbull fields for the high schools, in both Milford High Schools, and in Bunnell and Stratford High, you can see that they're getting so much more use out of it.
They are.
What you really notice is during the winter season when everyone has to be inside, and then you see these, you're leaving a high school basketball game that you just covered, and JVs are coming in at 8:30 to get their time in because the boys and the girls have to share the gyms and things like that. And so now you can see with the soccer fields and the lacrosse fields and the football teams, they all get equal use, and it works out for the youth soccer leagues and the Pop Warner football teams. So yeah, no, I'm totally. I understand the wear and tear that goes.
Yeah, many of those fields are starting to look a little long in the tooth. I know in Greenwich it's looking a little rough. Ludlow's looks like it has taken, and some of those fields that are all about 10, 12 years old. They're definitely looking like they've been chewed up quite a bit, though.
Plus, but there's an upgrade on what you can get on that. It's like everything else. As soon as you buy it, there's something better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everyone's gotten their good use out of West Haven High. Got more time out of their field than they should have going to state championships there true. On that brick.
Yeah.
I mean, that is hard. When you have to just stand on it to watch a game and you go home hurting, you just can't even imagine how it is. But they've switched that around, too, so they have a new field there.
I don't know if there was ever, and I was familiar with the West Haven turf, but the turf at Boyle Stadium, until they finally replaced that, wow. Or Kennedy. Well, Kennedy's still in bad shape.
Yes.
Unfortunately. And, there's economics, obviously, that go into that as well. We'll take our final break. We still got to talk a little bit about the football situation. Not a whole lot came out of last night. Little innuendo, things like that, and basically a gag order by the end of the night. But we'll spend a moment on that, too, as we continue for a Wednesday Nutmeg Sports. We roll along here at 2:48. Kate's coming back with a news update as well. We'll continue here on HANradio.com and streaming live on the Hearst and Acorn Network.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com.
2:51 on this Wednesday edition of Nutmeg Sports on HANradio.com and streaming live along HAN with Bill Bloxham. I'm Rob Adams. Happy to have you along for this Wednesday show as we get ready to wrap this one up. We start football, and look, we have stories we have to report, okay? And sometimes these stories aren't going to be just about what we do on the field, what the players do on the field. They're not always rainbows and unicorns. And unfortunately, the news came out right as we were heading off the air yesterday that Kevin Callahan, the head football coach at Ridgefield, had been arrested for DUI as well as texting while driving. I don't know Coach Callahan well. I've met him a few times. I've only covered a few of his games over the years. But so I can't give you a judgment one way or the other. But I was, I'm always sorry to read these stories anyway because it is what it is, unfortunately. But hopefully, live and learn and all that stuff. But too bad to see that information coming out. And, as a reporter, we can sit here and read the story. But as one who hosts an opinion show and a show about sports, it's something that you can spend 20 seconds on and kind of hang your head and say, doggone it.
Drunken and driving, there's nowhere else to go with it. You can't be drinking and driving your car.
And he's done a great.
If once again, if what he was charged with is what occurred.
And of course, right, innocent until proven guilty and all of that. He's been at Ridgefield a long time. Has done a great job with that football team, a championship-winning football team, and so I shrug my shoulders and wish him well. We had just seen him last Friday at the baseball game, so you can use that kind of cheesy term that we all use, which is what it is. And because I really don't know what more to say other than I felt we had to acknowledge it for, a minute or two.
Yeah, no, you just hope it works out for him, that whatever the problem might be is taken care of, and that if there's a second chance to be had, or however they're going to deal with it, you never know.
Right.
Different boards of educations.
Turn my attention to something that makes me smile, though. The Sports Emmys were handed out last night, and the winner of Outstanding Sports Personality for Play-by-Play for the second year in a row is a personal hero on this program, Michael Doc Emmerich, the voice of the National Hockey League and NBC, and the voice of the Stanley Cup, and it is no secret he is a big popular guy, at least with me on this show.
Oh, there's nobody better. I was just listening to the game the other day, because the first round you get to have your own home announcers announcing and things like that.
Right.
And then once you move on, and all of a sudden I was watching him, I was listening to him as I was watching the game, and just the flow, he just has a cadence that just works so well. And he throws it to people, for commentary, but he gets it back. You're right. He is just the best.
I think
he is just the best.
I think he and Eddie Olczyk are actually the best tandem in sports right now. I just think they are the best two going. He's just a phenomenal broadcaster. Really, the absolute best.
Yeah, they work together so well, even with Pierre.
And Pierre can be very, Pierre can be tough.
He could, he's insightful sometimes, but he can also be in the way.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. But
the Stanley Cups are, playoffs are just fabulous on their own right, and to have Doc Emmerich doing it is just a pleasure as a listener.
It really is. He breaks the game down so well, and he's Doc for a reason. He is a smart guy for sure, and I gotta just give you a little taste of Doc. This is something that the Ranger fan is going to want to hear. I mean, you don't need it much more than that, and I'm sorry, Ranger fans. It's tough for me to play as well. Rangers have a big game tonight, of course, against the Caps. They've got to get things straightened out there. I do think they will.
My head's drooping.
Oh, I know.
That 1.2 seconds left or whatever. I was already wanting to see if I was taping far enough along for overtime, and then there wasn't one.
Yeah, I do think they're going to get it straightened out, though. I do. I still believe Lord Stanley is coming back to New York, but they've got a little work to do.
I would hope so, but they're just not scoring enough. They're not scoring goals even when they win 4 out of 5.
I'm kind of bouncing here with some quickies as we get ready to wrap the show up. A moment on that FCAC meeting from last night down in Norwalk and Sono. 15 of the 17 coaches were there. Other 2 were on phone. Sounds like first and foremost they have taken a gag order and placed it on all the coaches' mouths so that they don't talk. Look, that's what they're regular guys. They talk, and we're regular guys. We're nothing fancy as media members here in Fairfield County. So there still seems to be way too much chatter and babble about this whole thing. What's your take?
Well, communications is the key to anything, and it just seems like they dropped the ball 8 months ago when they first started this thing. But that being said, the FCAC is a long-standing, great conference which is always banded together. So it's almost ironic to see them splintering right now the way it is, and they just got to tighten it up. If the FCAC is going to do what they're doing and they have the votes from the people that matter to them, they just have to say, this is what we're doing. We're having the championship game. No, you don't have options. You don't do these things. You can't play on Thanksgiving evening. We're not going to let you go 0-5 and then say, okay, since we're both, we don't have a shot. We're going to switch our game now.
We opt out.
I'm not sure how they're going to do that. It's but they've let it splinter, so I don't know how they're going to tape it back together.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, and I'll go very much on record here, I am absolutely in favor of that 50th FCAC championship.
Agreed.
I have been a part of that game in one form or another, not every year, but since 2000, I've been around the game. I've had the extreme distinct privilege of being the play-by-play announcer for 10 of them, and I'm deeply honored to do so. I want to do the 11th in November. It just has stunned me how great an experience it has been. We get great crowds every year for the game. The reaction's phenomenal. The football is always good. It's not like they just play for the heck of it. They hand them a trophy and say, okay, we're done. There's sincere hugging and celebrating after it's over. I want the legacy to continue. It's continued since 1966. That it's going to be the 50th game this year. It's something that's existed since 61. I know it's been a headache for the CIAC. I know it's been a headache for many of the reporters outside of the area. Some who have no clue what they're talking about, to be perfectly blunt. Play the game. Find a way to get the 10 games for everyone else, though. Find a way to get the 10 games.
Those are the two things. I totally agree. They have to have the FCX championship game. They have to find a way, though, for these teams to get that extra game in somehow, because it does affect other teams. Foreign High is wondering where Fairfield Ward is.
Right.
Ledyard is wondering where St. Joseph's
I
is.
agree.
And it came after the fact, so you have these innocent bystanders sitting there. So I think that's where the outside influence of people coming up with their own thoughts, which is fine anyway. That's what we all do.
Right.
But I think that's where the venom comes from, is the idea that, once again, people are jealous of the FCAC, and for whatever reason, they seem to find an easy target with everyone else.
Right.
Everyone else seems like to take shots at them.
I personally don't care that the ECC or the SWC or the SCC don't have conference championships anymore. I don't care. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Ridgefield isn't in the east part of the state, just for instance, know?
Yep.
Everybody's different. I like that it's different. I don't care what the rest of the state does when it comes to the FCAC. I want them to play the game. Now, they have to find a way to have the 10 games, and they probably have to find a way to probably put the rivalry games back on Thanksgiving. I don't know if all of this can be achieved. Something's going to have to suffer. I think that's what it's going to come down to. But in a perfect world, that's all that I want.
I think there's going to be a 2-year moratorium, and they're just going to let this go
with
the championship game. And sorry, coaches, you got 9. We'll revisit.
It could be.
But I don't know how they'll revisit. They'll have to revisit the CIAC to get that extra game in there. I'm not sure how they're going to do it.
As we get ready to wrap the show up, I want to go back to, there's 2 things I want to get to. Number one, the Pats are going to be in some trouble, but you know what? They won the Super Bowl. What are we going to do? The AP is reporting that there's enough to suggest that the Pats knew exactly what was going on with Deflategate, and I said it in January, February, and I'll say it now. Much ado about nothing. And I'm not a Pats fan, folks. My Steelers will open the season against the Pats on Thursday night. The first Thursday of the season. I'm already saying the Steelers are 0-1. I get it. The Pats are a model of consistency. I recognize it. I admire it. Brady's one of the all-time greats. Belichick's one of the all-time greats. But at the end of the day, it wasn't going to make a difference. The Pats were going to beat the Colts that day. I'm sorry. That's all there is to it. And then they went and won the Super Bowl.
Nixon and Watergate.
Yeah, because to me it was one of the more unlikable Super Bowls I've ever seen, because who did you root for in the game? But all that being said, one last thing. We'll leave it on a bittersweet note as we get ready to turn it back over to Kate for a news update. Those Emmy awards from last night had one of the most stunningly beautiful moments in it. And I will tell you in all honesty, I was never a big fan of Stuart Scott, the broadcaster. But as a man, pretty hard to dislike the man, and that measure still continues to be brought up in the number of people who admired Stuart Scott, the late broadcaster from ESPN, who, again, he was as cool as the other side of the pillow, but that was not everybody's taste. All that said, the Emmy Awards last night, one of the greats in the business, Ernie Johnson, won the Emmy for Outstanding Show Host, and he is great at that. Now, we can dispute his play-by-play abilities, but as a show host, he's an absolutely brilliant host. And in that moment, one of the really good people in this entire sports world called for Stuart Scott's 2 daughters to come to the stage, and he presented the Emmy that he just won to Stuart Scott's daughters in Stuart Scott's memory. That's why we love sports.
Very nice. Yes. Now, people get it.
Yeah.
Sports is special.
EJ is one of the great people in this business. He absolutely is. So congratulations to him, Doc Emmerich, and all the other winners from last night, and just a tip of the cap to EJ for pure class.
Yep. No, that's and for his daughters to be able to get up there, that is just cool.
Yeah, very emotional to watch. At 3:02, we're a little late to do so, but back from celebrating Seis de Mayo, the 2 o'clock edition. Here's Kate Chaplinsky. Kate.
Thanks, Rob. Well, Stanford police have arrested 2 gypsies accused of making shoddy and illegal home repairs on the homes of 2 elderly women, taking tens of thousands of dollars from them. Police arrested an East Haven couple, 44-year-old Tommy Miller and his 44-year-old wife, Bobby White, after an 8-month investigation that proved difficult because neither one had formal identification, had ever held a typical job, or had a driver's license, police said. The couple also moved around on a regular basis. The Whites reportedly befriended an 80-year-old woman from Ogden Road in Stamford and an 86-year-old woman from Vine Road after meeting them at Newfield Shopping Center in June 2014, and they talked the victims into allowing them to perform general home and car repairs. However, the work they did was inadequate and posed a danger to the homeowner because of poor quality, and one victim lost $38,000 and the other lost $2,200, police said. Both suspects were described as gypsies and unlicensed home improvement contractors who are in business with their sons. The Whites were charged with 2 counts of second-degree larceny, 2 counts of conspiracy at second-degree larceny, and 2 counts of impersonating a licensed home improvement contractor. They have each been held on a $43,000 court-set cash bond and will be arraigned Thursday. A bear that chased 2 runners out of a refuge in Granby tested negative for rabies. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection confirmed that the animal it euthanized earlier this week has not been suffering from the disease. The bear underwent testing at the Connecticut Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Laboratory at the University of Connecticut in Storrs. However, the state agency said the bear is still undergoing some testing in hopes that it can be learned why it was so aggressive toward the runners. The DEP said the behavior is unusual. Granby police said a man and woman were both chased from McLean Game Refuge on Monday. They were not hurt. Former Bridgeport Mayor Joe Ganim, who spent 7 years in prison for corruption, told the Chaz and AJ show this morning that he will again seek Bridgeport's highest office. Ganim would be seeking to unseat fellow Democrat Bill Finch, the incumbent. Finch also faces an in-party challenge from Bridgeport Bluefish founder Mary Jane Foster. Ganim served as mayor of Bridgeport from 1991 until 2003, when he was convicted of 16 counts of corruption for steering city contracts in exchange for money. Ganim is apologizing to voters about what he calls serious errors of judgment during his time in office. He also lost his law license. Ganim said he will officially launch his campaign on May 14th. Hearing a report of a tractor-trailer accident around 2 o'clock this afternoon, a car versus a tractor-trailer, that happened in the Newtown area on I-84 westbound. It has since been cleared. Route 7 in Wilton remains closed because of a mishap with a dump truck that resulted in downed wires and a fire. Emergency workers report that plans are being made to divert traffic on Route 7 if it is still closed going into rush hour. Wilton schools report buses will be delayed and routes will take longer than normal. All after-school activities will take place as scheduled. The truck was delivering mulch to Gregory's sawmill Wednesday afternoon. According to Wilton Fire Chief Ron Canterman, Gregory's was taking a delivery of mulch and put the truck on an incline so the mulch would fall more easily out the back. The truck, however, hit high-tension wires overhead, and that contact set it on fire. The driver was able to escape without injury, Canterman said, although he was taken to Norwalk Hospital. Updates on this story will be posted at wiltonbulletin.com. It is currently 70 degrees and cloudy in Shelton. HAN News Time, 3:06.
Kate, thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob.
We'll see you tomorrow for coffee break. A quick note as we get ready to say goodbye. Bryce Harper against Chris Kallen's Nationals, just 3 home runs and 5 runs batted in. Average day.
Not too shabby.
We'll sign for that, won't we?
Yes, he's a polarizing figure.
He sure is.
But if, he's on your team, you like him. He's just boastful and then delivers, and he's too young and he acts too young.
Yeah.
And he had too much hype to begin with, and then everyone has an opinion on Bryce Harper.
Exactly. We'll see you over the next couple of days for any of these games.
Looking forward to it. I'll see you Friday, I think.
And see you next week here on the show, I hope.
Yep. Pick a day. Pick a day.
You and Mike keep coming back, keeping me company. Thanks so much to them. Thanks to our guests as well. Jeff Babineau, the head softball coach at St. Joe's, and Carrie Nadell, the head softball coach at Trumbull. We'll see them on Friday. We'll have lacrosse tomorrow, as we have Staples and Ridgefield. We have girls lacrosse on Saturday, Longmeadow, Massachusetts against New Canaan. But that'll do it for now. Thanks for listening to Nutmeg Sports on a Wednesday edition. For Kate Chaplinsky and Bill Bloxham, as well as Mario, Josh, Marty, John, the whole gang, I'm Rob Adams. Enjoy your afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow. Coffee break, 11 o'clock. Have a great night, everyone.
Yabba dabba dabba, yabba dabba dabba, yabba dabba 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 doo. Yabba dabba 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 doo.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersom Radio, on Facebook at Hersom Acorn Radio, or email us at radio@hersomacorn.com.
Microphone